To show you a cool little thing that I have, and to show you how I train my models. So I'm not talking about the training of a model file. I'm talking about how I train my agents in order to understand how I want to do stuff. So here's the basic outline of things. If you've never seen any of my videos before, I have this job system, which is actually not used for a lot of things now, not just jobs. It's used for client search and my content work and a bunch of different things. And one of the things that I do, I don't use AI to write, but I use AI to get feedback and to align, to get some ideas and to align my writing with a voice that I've trained my agent to understand how that works. Right. So I'm going to show you how it works first. So this is what I use for my short form video scripts when I want to write a short form video. There's actually a whole system to actually to create those videos, but now I just want to show you how that works. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a short form practice. There we go. And this is a skill, and I'll show you the skill in a moment. And basically what this does is that it goes through my content folder, and then it finds something that I've written, and then it creates a short form video script, 45 to 60 seconds of text based on that. And right now it's actually going to be fairly okay because I've already trained it a lot, and I want to show you just how that works initially. So you can sort of see exactly how everything works. And I have the skills and I have everything ready here. So if we're just waiting now, you'll notice that I'm running this in Codex. This is for 8.4, so I'm not sure why it's taking. Oh, you can invoke it as a skill. Oh, there you go. No, okay, let's try this then. They've changed something here. Let's try this. Short form practice. Does this work? I can't formally invoke it as a skill. I have no idea what that is. If it's readable. Huh. Funny. Yeah. It something has changed here. This is something I've been doing a lot lately. We'll see how it works now. So essentially, I have this skill, and this is essentially everything that I need to do. I will show you. Actually, I can show you some of the previous ones that I've used for practice. But basically, what this does is that it creates a short form script on one of my the things that I've written, a LinkedIn post, a book that I've written, a course that I've made, something like that, and creates a 45 to 60-second long script for it. And then I provide it with feedback, and it takes that feedback and stores it so that it can improve the next time I try to do this. Right. So right now, it is still no idea why it's taking so long now, because this usually takes 15 to 20 seconds. Now it's been going on for over a minute, and just so it knows sort of what these uh, you know there's some comments here, and I'll walk through those in a moment. But basically, now I get a script. It's an estimated runtime of 45 seconds. Here's a title: before you buy AI software, learn these words first. Basically, just like what do you need to know before you start investing into AI software. Like, what is this? So this is a script, and there's some text here, and I can basically now, because I have a full content system behind this, I'm not actually going to do this, I think, right now, because probably not. Let's just do this for now, and I'll show you sort of how the improvement thing works. So say, okay, script approved, please spawn a director sub agent and create a movie video. For this, stop before run pod nation. So this is some script, right? And actually, let me start another one so you can just see how this works now. I'm gonna do short form. There we go. And I can also, by the way, use specific things to create this this short form video. So I might, for example, be able to say here, use my book on context and engineering as a source, pick any chapter and topic, something like that. So I can basically direct it as well to say, hey, give me a short form practice or short form script for this particular topic or this particular, content engineering book. Yeah, and it'll find all of this stuff. It'll keep going for a while. Now that it's doing this, by the way, beside here, directory intake format, excellent. So it'll do, yeah, I'll walk you through everything that happens here right in a moment. But basically, now that you've sort of seen how this works, it gives me a sort of a script, which is good or bad. It just has a bunch of things that happens behind it. But now that you've seen this, we can actually look at how exactly this type or this skill actually works. So right now, this is a codex script, so which I kind of don't like, but it has to do with how sort of scripts are called or how skills are called. That it sort of needs to be specific in some cases. But basically, this is the entire skill, and I essentially asked Codex itself to actually build this skill for me. So I said, hey, here's what I want to do. I want to be able to practice this short form style and then build up a sort of some voice files and some patterns and things like that I would like to do. And here's, by the way, you'll see this particular text here, which is AI's. If you've read any amount of AI text, you'll know that it's very very happy to use the contrast and reveal things. The problem with AI is not this; it's that, right? Or the problem with companies today is X. It's not X. It's not X. It's Y, right? That's the contrast reveal pattern. And if I don't I've trained and I've said so many times here that I actually I had to hard code it into the file itself that it shouldn't do these things because it's absolutely in love with it. If I take this out, I guarantee you there will be a in order to the problem with AI today is not people don't have any knowledge. It's X, Y, and Z. So what we have here, like I said, it's the skill file. It'll basically say that this is a particular skill that I want my content engineer to run. So this is one of my agents that I have. It's called the content engineer, and it's responsible for all of my voice files and reviewing my text. It'll if I want to post something on LinkedIn, I often run it by content engineer first to check that it's not going to break any kind of plans that we have or whatever we're doing. That's one of the roles that I have. It has a series of sort of, voice files that it's already made about how I write, not about my voice as you're hearing right now, but in the style that I use when I'm writing things. So we have this, and we also have a separate specific voice library here for the short form voices. And I'll actually show you this right now as well. This is in a, do I have it here? What did I say? Yeah, here it is. And the patterns hooks, like here's basically everything about how I write my content. So here you see, like it's been a week now since I've actually done something. Here's a script that I did. Here's the main lessons that we that content engineer learned from this particular setup. There's a, what did it learn here? I'm not sure what it's actually learned here, but this is basically now a set of practice or results of practice. So the more I run this now, the more I go back in here now and I say, okay, here's feedback. Every please and thank you sent to an LLM costs you focus. That sounds rude, but it's just mechanics, right? Which is true because if you feed everything that you feed an LLM that doesn't actually contribute to its understanding of what you want to do or provide it with specific context, pleasantries and like good morning, how are you doing, chat, stuff like that is kind of just pointless. And that's one of the things in my sort of content engineering book. But so this is true. This is a text, and I might say, you know what? Here's this is another use for serious AI work too. Okay, this looks good, but let's try to get it closer to 60 seconds. Actually, that would be bad feedback because it actually is not about the voice. I want to make sure we call it language model instead of just LLM. For example, that might be something that I can say, okay, cool, I like this, except that I don't like that it says LLM, because when you're spelling out things in voice files and things like that, um, that's going to cost you something. So now it has this, and I can say, okay, cool, this is good, good, practice, well done, script approved, something like that, right? So I now get some feedback. It'll go in and it'll make some changes now to what it's learned about things. Maybe it'll store exactly this that I actually prefer to have as a practice record. Update the short form knowledge with the naming rule. You just confirm exactly, so it'll do those things, right? And say, I would like us to use a full term of language model rather than LLM. And that's something now that goes into our let's see if we can hook patterns. What do we have? Is there some anti-patterns? There's not. There's log. Okay, there's a knowledge in there. I'm not going to like look for that specifically now, but basically it'll be in here and it'll show the LLM next time how I would like my things to work. So the more I do this, the more accurate my short form script will be. And then at the end of things, I can now go and say, this, I really like this. I've been working on this. This obviously this one, this is just something that I did to start things off. But once I've done this enough and I can work with this, I can actually hand this off now to my director, for example, which is another agent that I have. And this is, I just started this one now on the side here. We'll see how this one works. How are we doing? Yeah, so this is uh, acts as director role, blah blah blah. It'll do all the workflows and it'll set everything up. So this is now director Harvey. Oh no, that's a horrible name for for a movie director. That's going to come back and bite me. That's not going to age well. Um, but anyways, now it'll go and it'll get a package from content engineer, and content engineer, this is how they work together. Content engineer will set up a package to create a video, and now basically if I wanted to like spin this off, I think it'll actually start in the background here and run, yeah, it'll actually run some scripts here in order to create my voice reading this particular script. And then if I wanted to actually create a video from this, if I go and yeah, I would need to spin up something. I have a run pod somewhere here. There we are. I would need to spin this up. I have some sort of pre-made comfy UI setups that I can run. That'll do what's it called? It's called Infinite Talk. It's a comfy UI workflow that I found, on some Patreon sites. But basically, I can then spin this up and up, and then director will know how to create that video. And from that, it'll just, these ones are very basic. So we'll get something like I have in my video blog here, something like this, right? This is how you see this, like very, very popular stuff. Here's how I turned video script and creation into a trainable right system. Now, but there's my content. There's a voice here, and it's sort of reading the message from one of these scripts, and this is obviously AI generated, and I sound crazy and I look crazy, but that's that's a different thing. But the point is that all of this now is completely automated. If I spun up a run pod right now, which will, it'll literally take, it'll cost me 15 cents in order to make a video. It'll just take like 10 15 minutes or something like that. But if I spin this up right now, then director would be able to actually create that video for me and download it, and I could ask for feedback, or I can say, put some slides here or whatever. Like, but in any case, this is how I work with my agents when I want to train them. Like I said, I start out and I have this particular skill right now. This one, which basically says, here's how we want to do this. We want to pick a topic. We're going to go through this. I'm going to provide some feedback. Once I do, please store that feedback. and say, yeah, exactly, fart cap 58 seconds, there you go. Then store that practice session, store the knowledge that you've learned about this particular setup. And based on that, you are going to now next time be able to make an even better script. And I use this now to then be able to get better feedback on my short form scripts, how I want them to be. And using this form, I basically train my agent in order to get me a very, very good result initially based on how I write things. And this is kind of how I use this to train my agent. So I hope this was useful. And let me know if you have any comments. There's probably some comment somewhere on the screen. You can add some comments, you can add likes, you can do whatever people do these days with videos. And that's basically it is for today.